You know, folks, we will never be the United States of America as long as Donald Trump is in the political arena. We can't be, because this man is not about uniting this country. He's not about bringing us together. He's all about playing politics. He's all about flexing. He's all about distracting, and he's all about owning the libs. He's all about entertaining that WWE style base. So there's never going to be the moment where he decides, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time to put politics aside and work together. Here he is, the president-elect, coming in for a second term. And he's got everybody, all of us, doubting that he will be worth a flying damn. And what does he do? He proves us right. By going out here while California is facing fires yet again, he finds a way to demonize and point the blame at Gavin Newsom. Why? Because he wants to own the libs and flex. And I can see maybe people in other parts of the country getting a kick out of this, but I wonder how Trump's voters in California feels knowing that he would let their homes burn to the ground because they have a Democratic governor. I'm going to read this article here from MidasNews.com, but before I do, if you haven't already, be sure and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment if you feel like getting in on the conversation. If not, just leave a blue heart. That will help to boost these videos and the algorithm, and I truly do appreciate your all support. But here it is, and folks, honestly, this is truly embarrassing to read, but Donald Trump blames Gavin Newsom for California fires. Once again, Trump makes a tragedy a political event. This afternoon, Donald Trump blamed California Governor Gavin Newsom for the wildfires that have devastated parts of Southern California. In a new Truth Social post, Trump called Gavin Newsom Gavin Newscum and proceeded to rail against Newsom for refusing to sign a water restoration declaration that Trump claims would have ensured that there would be sufficient water to fight the fires. There is no evidence that this is true, but here was his post. It's absolutely embarrassing to read. I mean, this man's such a toddler. Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is the blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes, a true disaster. Trump continued to say that the ultimate price is being paid because of the incompetent governor, saying that he's the blame for this. Despite Trump's incendiary remarks, there is no evidence to suggest that Governor Newsom could have done anything to prevent the fires, and certainly there's no evidence that Newsom caused the tragic fires. If you recall, Trump previously claimed that he would withhold wildfire aid to California over objections he had with Governor Newsom's policies. This Truth Social post has become just one in a line of many statements made by Trump during a natural disaster that attacks a political opponent. Most recently, Trump attacked the Biden-Harris administration and Democratic officials over the response to Hurricane Helene flood in North and South Carolina. Just months later, Trump is continuing this trend, this time taking aim at Governor Gavin Newsom. And again, folks, that's honestly embarrassing to read, and it's a shame that we live in a world where that is our leader. I can't believe that people looks at this man and looks at his behavior and doesn't see that it's completely disqualifying from ever holding an office. I can't believe that people looked at that and then had the audacity to say, well, I can't vote for Kamala because I don't like her laugh. Or I can't vote for Kamala because she should have done something while she was in there for 4 years. Meanwhile, where the hell did J.D. Vance go? Where's that guy at? We've not heard a word or a peep out of him. It's been all Donald Trump and his puppet master Elon Musk. And now at a crucial moment in time, where he could show that he was lead by example, he can't do it. He refuses to do it. He has to find a way to demonize Gavin Newsom and to demonize California. And again, I can see people here in the South and different parts of the country maybe laughing about all this, but how, if you're in California and you voted for Trump, can you continue to support a guy knowing that he would let your home burn to the ground before he would come help you, all because he's too busy playing politics? Again, this was the guy that said he was going to put America first. Well, one of our biggest states in the country that provides so much of our economy needs us more than ever, and he has to play politics, and I do believe It's clearly a jealousy of Gavin Newsom. I believe it's that way with all the Democratic governors that he loves to go after. I believe there are two reasons he does it. Number one, he loves to flex and play politics. And number two, he feels threatened by them. A lot of people believe that Gavin Newsom could potentially be a front runner for the Democratic Party going forward. And if that were to happen, Trump or Vance or whoever the hell they pull up next would have to run against someone like that. And I can already tell you what the narrative would be. They would immediately shift all of their talking points to, we don't want the rest of America to become like California. But I really believe this little beef that he has with Newsom and coming up with these ridiculous nicknames for him is he feels threatened by him. And maybe they should. Because after people gets 4 more years of this bullshit, maybe they will be reminded of what they went through the first time. People turned out in record numbers to vote in 2020 and to vote Donald Trump out of office. And then they turned around and stayed home. I will never be able to make that one make sense, that people could see the urge to vote this man out once, but then see everything he did with January 6th and becoming a convicted felon, becoming liable of sexual abuse, defaming the victim. They saw all that and then decided, well, I'm going to stay home because Kamala laughs a little bit weird to me, so I think I'll just set this one out. It's absolutely ridiculous. I honestly had more faith in the American people. I'm sorry to say, I truly had more faith that we could pull this one off. So if I was anything, I was naive in thinking that more people had better sense and that they wouldn't want to relive this. But so many times, people will go back into a toxic relationship, knowing that it's toxic, but thinking somehow it's going to be better this go around. There are a whole lot of people who thrives on that. There's a whole lot of people who loves having that toxic figure in their life. Well, congratulations, you got him. He's going to sit back and let a state burn to the ground because he's got to play politics and he's got to flex and he's got to own the libs. Again, what does this do for you? And what does this say to you when this guy would do this to a state within our country? It could just as easily be yours. And don't think for 1 second that you're safe just because you got a Republican governor. All you folks here in Tennessee, don't sit and think, oh, we've got it made. Because let me tell you something. If Bill Lee was to ever step out of line, ever so slightly, just ever so slightly with Donald Trump, he would be a rhino. He would be cast out. We would be left to drown here in Tennessee. So don't ever think you're safe just because you have an R beside your name or just because you go to church with them or just because whatever. You're never going to be safe because anybody who rocks the boat with Donald Trump will always be met with this type of rhetoric. And it's truly sickening. It's truly disgusting. My heart goes out to everyone out in California. I really hope we can get this under control. And I really wish that we had a leader that we could count on in a moment like this to show up and say, what do you need from me? Joe Biden helped red states during the hurricanes. He was there. What do you need from me? To the point that those governors, as bad as they hated to, had to come out, hold their nose and say, yeah, he's been here for us every step of the way. Blue states will never be able to say that about Donald Trump, and that tells me he is not about uniting this country. He's not about the United States of America, and he's not about putting America first, because right now is the moment to bring everyone together to put America first, but he's too busy playing WWE. He's too busy being that villain, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We should have never been here. Unfortunately, we are, and it's going to take us a long time to dig ourselves out of this hole. But again, my heart goes out to everyone in California, and I really hope that we get this under control soon. And folks, thank you so much for supporting what it is that I do here on the channel. I'm just somebody sitting here trying to make sense of it. And a lot of times, if I'm being honest, I'm just thinking out loud. I don't have a script. I don't have talking points. I don't have anything. I'll pull up an article and do my best to read it. I'll stutter and get tongue-tied all the way through it. But I'm just trying to make sense of this. And I don't understand why anyone finds this guy appealing. Especially people living in California that voted for him. That's what you voted for. You voted for a guy that will let you burn to the ground because he has to play politics.